Guys, I might have found myself a new favorite movie. I mean, it's still kind of early to tell, but it's definitely among the best things I've seen in quite a while. It's One Cut of the Dead. I first heard about this movie when Third Window Films started hyping it up. You know, a Japanese zombie movie where a film crew is shooting a zombie movie and then there's actual zombies. I go, oh. Which kind of reminded me of George Romero's Diary of the Dead, which I found quite disappointing. And in general, even though I absolutely love zombie movies, these past few years I've just become more and more hesitant when it comes to like these new greatest zombie comedy movies ever. You know, I'm hesitant to check them out, mostly because, you know, in all honesty, the genre has grown kind of tiresome. So, it took me a while, late to the party as per usual, but eventually I figured let me just check it out. Like, everybody says it's great, what's the worst that can happen? And, well, I basically immediately fell in love with it. Let's take a look. That's actually not in the script. See, before we go any further, I do highly recommend you to watch the movie first before you watch this video, as it'll be filled with major spoilers. Really, if you want to fully experience this wholesome comedy of a movie, you kind of really have to go in completely blind. It'll be so much better. So, unless you can still fully appreciate a movie after you've seen major spoilers, please go buy the Third Window Films release, buy the Plain Archive release, watch it on Shudder, do what you gotta do. Just make sure you watch the movie first. Or don't. I mean, I really do not want to overhype it. It's just, I just wish everybody the same experience with this movie, like seeing it the first time that I had, and I basically went in completely blind, but whatever, you do you. Let's just finally take an actual look at the movie now. The movie immediately starts on the set of this low-budget zombie movie, where the director seems quite unsatisfied. After this, it doesn't take long before the crew is being attacked by actual zombies and oh. Then, some 37 minutes later, we get the end credits? What? Well, we cut to 1 month earlier, and it turns out that all of this, you know, like everything that we've been seeing so far, was a short movie that the main character directed, with the gimmick being that it was a one-take live broadcast. Okay, interesting. Let's take another look at that. Because, yeah, the first 37 minutes of this movie is one continuous shot, which is admittedly quite an impressive feat. Sure, the story isn't that great, and there were actually quite some flaws, even though that's to be expected with the one-shot approach. Like, there's some shabby and awkward acting throughout, like weird silences, pauses. Some of the camera work is actually pretty terrible. And at some point they put the camera down, which I think might have been the moment where they stitched together two shots, you know, with some clever editing. At some point I feel like the director broke the wrong fourth wall, and I have no idea what this scene in this little shed was supposed to be. And finally, towards the end, really, scenes just go on for way too long, and the actual final shot, it's super shaky, which it's kind of a shame since, well, you know, it's the last shot of the short. You kind of want to go out with a bang, right? But all in all, great effort. Then, the second part of the movie is the preparation for the shoot, and this is where we meet all the different characters. It's probably the most serious part of the movie, which serves as a great bridge between the first part, the short movie itself, and the final part, the actual shooting of the short. And this is where everything comes together oh so perfectly. If you've ever tried to make a low-budget short movie yourself, you know that things can and will go wrong. No exception here, and well, with this being a one-take live broadcast, they're in for some real trouble. Two of the actors fail to show up super last minute. One actor catches a terrible stomach ache, and another one gets super drunk. The cameraman suffers from a back injury. It's all very inconvenient circumstances, to say the least. But hey, the show must go on, and well, they're gonna try and make it work. So, get it? Every flaw I just listed about the one-take short now is being turned into a joke. This whole movie comes full circle so perfectly in the final 30 minutes that you just can't help but to sit through this whole segment with a ginormous smile on your face. Even the middle part, which could be described as, like more serious and slower paced, now becomes super funny, and you now realize it served greatly for setting up a bunch of jokes. So yeah, all the awkward acting and pauses, the shit camera work, every nonsensical bit we saw during the short, it's now being explained and justified in the most hilarious way. And that's what I love about this movie so much. It's so multi-layered that even though you might not find something that funny as it's happening, as you're seeing it, it will become funny later on, which gives this movie excellent replay value. It just feels so fresh, so creative, so unique. And despite it being marketed as a zombie movie, I personally wouldn't call it that. Like, it's not a zombie movie. It's a comedy first and foremost, but I feel like it's much more about filmmaking rather than the genre of the film that they're making, if that makes sense. And really, who would have thought that all we need is just a rookie filmmaker with a cast of mostly unknown actors with basically zero experience and a budget of some, like $25,000? Eat your heart out, Hollywood. And that's also why I'm so glad to see that this movie made back its budget like literally over 1,000 times. That's awesome. And despite, like I said, them being unknown actors, their performances are pretty great. I absolutely loved Takayuki Hamatsu as the director. Really, every time he ran into the shot screaming "Action!" I lost it.
Action! Action! Action!
It's so good. And besides all of that, I don't really know what to tell you. I just love how clever and multi-layered the setup is, how it ends up delivering the jokes, all the characters. It's just so wholesome. Am I overhyping it? You tell me. My reaction to this whole video, it's purely based on how much fun I have watching this movie. Like, is it the best movie ever? No way. But it's just been such a while since I've had so much fun with a movie, and well, that's what I'm trying to convey here. Towards the end, there's even this somewhat unexpected, super heartfelt moment which twice already almost brought me to tears, and it's like, damn, this movie works. So yeah, that's one cut of the dat for you. If you've made it this far into the video without having seen the movie first, like I told you to do, you rebel. I like that. But I do sincerely hope that you're somewhat convinced to check out the actual movie itself now, and that you can still get as much enjoyment out of it as possible, even though a lot of the surprises which makes it so effective are kind of ruined. Then again, I might have enjoyed this movie even more on a second viewing, so even with the surprise element, like not being there anymore, it's still a fantastic movie. Yep, that's it. Cheers guys, have a nice day.